Hey Will, hey Sam, hey Rowan. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about beliefs. Oh, sorry, I popped my ears here. So beliefs, that can mean a lot of things, right? But what comes to people's mind first and foremost is like God and religion and spirituality and things like that. So I'll start with that. So I believe myself personally, I don't believe in a God. I don't believe in much religion just because I believe in more things you can see, touch, and feel in the physical world, you know? And I haven't seen a lot of proof of a God existing. So, while I don't actually believe in a God, I consider myself an atheist or maybe agnostic. Maybe not. Atheist, I guess, means more you don't believe in a God. Agnostic, I think, means you don't care. So I do care, so I'm not sure I'm agnostic, but I always consider myself atheist. Again, because I need to see that proof. And if someone showed me the proof, I could believe in it. But so I'm not closed-minded in the sense that I wouldn't believe if someone showed me something, or if something happened and I had some kind of evidence of God and religion. But for now, I'm open-minded to the fact that there could be something out there because we don't really know, right? There's a lot of things that we can't explain. Like science explains a lot of things very well, but there's still a lot that we're just theorizing and that we're not really sure about. So there's a possibility that there's a God out there. It could be wrong, but for now I don't see any proof. I don't see how it's possible. Really, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I don't believe personally, but a lot of people do, and that's okay. That's their right to believe in a God and to have that faith and all that stuff that goes along with it. I think there is a purpose. There is a benefit to believing. Some people need that, and some people like that, want that. I personally don't need it. I do have a lot of the same beliefs or principles or things that I live by that religious people do. For example, I believe that you should be good to people and treat them the way you should be treated. I believe that you should always be honest and truthful and not hurt people. I just don't believe in things like the afterlife and having to pray and religion and all that stuff. So anyway, there's a lot more to it, but that's sort of the basics of it. I really think anybody should be able to believe whatever they want to, and whether that be a God. There's so many different religions out there, or not believe in a God, or there's lots of people that just believe in kind of like a spirituality thing, where there's some kind of higher power. They're not sure what it is, but anybody has the right to believe whatever they want to believe, and that's perfectly fine. So beyond religion, though, I believe that you should, hard work, right? Okay, I believe everybody should do their best to support themselves and make a living and bring home some money to be able to pay the bills and provide a roof for their own head and things like that. I don't believe that people should live off of other people. When you're kids, that's one thing. Your job is going to school and learn to be good, productive citizens down the road. But at some point, once you get out of high school and college, you'll have to get a job and support yourself. And so I believe in hard work. Always go to work every day. Find a job that you like, first of all, I guess is really the start of it. I don't think people should work jobs that they don't like, because you're going to be there a lot. You're there all day long. A lot of stressful things going on at work, so you should really find a job that you like to do and not worry about the money. The money will come later. I got stuck into a trap where I went into accounting thinking that was a good career and it'd be a lot of money. And I didn't really like it. I was good at it just because I was good at math and that kind of thing. So my dad kind of pushed me into accounting, and it was a decent career. It paid all right, but I was never really happy, so that's why I'm trying to get out of it now. And that's why I'm trying to encourage for your kids to do something you like. Just find something that you have passion for, that you're happy doing. And they say that if you do something you like, you never work a day in your life. And that makes sense if you think about it, right? Because you just do what you would normally do for fun, but find a way to make a living at it, make some money at it. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, because you don't need a lot of money to survive. Right now, minimum wage is, I don't know, I think technically it's like $8 an hour or something, but a lot of people pay at least $15 or $20 an hour for most jobs. And that's perfectly enough to survive on if you do it right. You don't have to make $40, $50 an hour, $100 an hour. You don't have to go to 4 years of school, 6 years of school, 8 years of school. You can if you want to, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And if it helps you do what you want to do and you like doing that, that's great. But you don't have to. If you want to just be a handyman, just fix things, or if you want to be a painter, draw things, or make music, or whatever it is you want to do, just do it. Find a way to make a little bit of money at it, and just keep your expenses low so you can survive. You don't have to have a big huge house, a big huge car. Having a job that you like and doing something that brings purpose and happiness in your life every day, to me that's more important. But it's up to you, and everybody's going to have to find their own peace with that and do what they really want to do. And that's what I would encourage you to do, is just to be happy at your job and work hard at your job. When you have a passion and you like it, you're bound to work harder at it, and the harder you work at it, the more you'll get out of it. The more money somebody eventually will pay you, the more recognition you'll get, the more satisfaction you'll typically get. So, also I believe in having fun, right? You can't work all the time. You can't. If you're having fun at your job, that's perfect, because then you're having fun and you're working and you're making money. So it's kind of kills all those birds in one stone, so to speak. But if you are working a job you don't necessarily love, and it is actually work, then you gotta make sure you have time for fun. Life's short, you never know when your number's up. You never know how long you're gonna live. The average person lives to be 70 or 80 years old, but there are lots of examples where people die at 20 years old, 30 years old, or 40 years old. My dad died at 47. He was still in the prime of his life and didn't have a lot. He had a lot of life left, and wasn't ready to go, right? I mean, he hadn't done a lot of things that he wanted to do. My grandfather died at 67, I think. The first one who died, Grandpa Jackson. He died right after he retired. He retired, and literally he didn't get to enjoy much of it before he died. So, people in society are going to want to tell you to do one thing. Your mom, your teachers, your friends, everybody generally tells you to live a certain way, right? But that's not the only way to live. You got to find out what makes sense for you. Everybody wants you to buy a big house. They want you to buy a big car, get a high-paying job. Well, you know what? That might work for some people, but that's not the only way, and that's not the best way necessarily. They want you to put all your money into retirement, not have fun now, right? And pay off all your bills, and just put a lot of money into retirement and not have fun, so that eventually when you retire, you'll have lots of money and you'll be able to survive. Well, you know what? What happens if you die before then? You're never going to get to enjoy that money. So there's a lot of factors, and that's not the only way. I've come to realize in my middle-aged years that life is short. The closer I get to the age that my dad died at 47, the more I realize that I want to make sure I'm living now, because you never know. Your time could be up. I could get in a car accident today. Who knows? Anything can happen. So make sure you're doing things. Make sure you're having fun. Not too much fun. I mean, don't get crazy and get in trouble and things like that. Have everything in moderation, they say. So make sure you're doing some things every few months or every year, or even just set aside a little bit of time every day to do some fun stuff and make some memories, and not worry about buying so much stuff. Have some memories instead of those material items that you buy. Memories will last forever. Stuff breaks. All these toys and things you want, that all breaks, and it's some of it's good and some of it's okay, but I think memories are more important, they're more valuable than things. So that's that one. Make sure you're setting aside some time to have some fun and not planning for a future necessarily that may or may not ever come. And it's okay to do that a little bit too, but don't waste your life away. Waste a lot of years planning for the future when if you retire someday, you may not have the energy or the health to travel. So do it now while you're young and you can do all that stuff. Have some fun now. course, by now I mean when you're older. Your kids, you can only do so much, but yeah, when you get out of high school, you can. That's the time when you can really, in your early 20s and 30s, live it up, do some fun stuff. Some of this stuff might be more applicable to Jackson as he's closer to that age, and Kyle. You guys will need this information at some point down the road. And same with this other one here. I'm going to talk about insurance. So I don't really believe in insurance either. And it's kind of a unique mindset probably. I don't think a lot of people share with me. But let me explain why. You might come to understand what I'm talking about. Because insurance really is just this is when, like, for example, car insurance or health insurance or homeowners insurance. This is where you pay another company money every month, and they take that money and they put it into their own account and they do things with it. And eventually you might need that money for if your house burns down, or if your car gets in an accident and you hurt somebody. They make their money, and they make you feel like you need that security blanket. And it's all based on the fact that our society is a very litigious society. That just means that people are always going to the lawyers and they're suing people for if they get hurt or if something happens to them, and that causes all these expenses to be high. And people need this insurance to protect them against things like that. At least that's what we're led to believe, and that's what society wants us to believe. The older I get, I've come to the realization that it really is a scam. To me, it's honestly a scam, where these companies are just they're profiting on your fear, right? You're afraid of all these things that might potentially happen. Are probably never going to happen. This stuff that they make you worry about happens to a very small percentage of people. Not very many people at all. Like 1% of people might have to use a homeowner's insurance policy for a fire or something like that. I don't know for sure. I'm just making up numbers, but it's a very small percentage anyway. But they take all this money from everybody and they pay out to that 1%. But then when they pay out, they only pay a certain amount, right? They make you pay part of it. And then sometimes they drop you from the insurance plans, so you can't get insurance again because you made a claim. That's what the whole point of it is, right? You're supposed to be able to make a claim, collect your money, and then go back to paying your monthly premiums, and if case it ever happens again. But no, some insurance companies they'll not let you get insurance again because you've just lost that money and now you're a bad high risk, and so they don't want to cover you anymore. And so what they do is that process scares you out of making claims. It scares you out of using them, and that way the companies make more money. And again, the whole thing is just a big scam, because I think when you think about it, you're paying, like, homeowners insurance, for example, is about $1,000 a year, something along that line. So you're paying that $1,000 a year, and you probably will never use it. I've never used it. I've owned houses for 20 some odd years. I've never used homeowners insurance. So that's $20,000 that I've given to these companies that I'm never going to get back, probably. I'll never see a dime of that. I might potentially have to file a claim. Who knows? Probably not, statistically speaking. But also, they scare me out of doing it, so if the situation ever comes up, I probably won't even file a claim because I'll be afraid of the consequences of getting dropped and not being able to get insurance again, or having to pay more than it's worth anyway, and all these things. So alternatively, how about, what if I took that $20,000 and put it in a bank account and just made my own bank account, call it homeowners insurance bank account, or whatever name I want to give it, and I could have been earning interest on that money all this time. It probably would have ended up being like $30,000 or $40,000, probably maybe more, $50,000 at this point, sitting in that bank account, because of the way the interest accrues over time. And I could have had that money, and I could leave it in there just in case I do have a fire, or somehow I need if my house burns down, or whatever the case might be. Or I could maybe say, okay, you know what, even if it does burn down, I'm not going to need that much money. I'm only going to need 30. So I can leave 30 in there and take 20 out and use it for my own. That's my own money, Or if in 20 years I decide that I don't have a house anymore, I'm just going to rent, all that money's mine. That's to me, that's the way it should be. That makes more sense, because right now all that money is going towards a company. That company has all kinds of employees they're paying. They have a big CEO, presidential salary package. They're paying some huge amount of money to the big wigs of the company, right? They're paying rent, and then their owners are getting profits. I mean, all that money you're paying out of your pocket is going towards someone else. It's not going to you. And so if you think about it logically, it makes sense that it's not really in your best interest. It's like gambling. It's a gamble at a casino, or you're playing poker, or Russian roulette, or some other, not Russian roulette, but like Bet 21, that kind of stuff. Any of those gambling games where you're gonna make money. You're never gonna. It's like the lottery too, the state lottery, where you play little scratch tickets. You're never gonna make money on those. The odds are stacked against you. Yeah, there's gonna be a very small percentage of the people that hit it big, and they actually make more than they spent, and it's possible, but it's so unlikely that what's gonna happen is 99.999% of the population that plays those lottery tickets are paying for that one person to win, but most of that money is going to the state. They're collecting that. It's like another tax. They're taking that money, they're collecting it as a tax. And so I don't believe in gambling either for those reasons. It's just like insurance. It's all the same kind of lines, that you're never going to make out. It's not a way to make money. It's not a way to really benefit you at all. All you get from it is a peace of mind. But unfortunately, our society is set up that when you borrow money from banks and things like that, they require this insurance for their own peace of mind, in case for whatever reason something does happen to the bank. I mean, to your house or to your car, that money that the bank loaned you, they'll get it back, essentially. So it just protects them. But in the process, it creates this big business model for insurance companies for a scam, really, to come in there and make money on it, when there really should not be a system. I don't know how exactly it came into being, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, and it shouldn't be there. And I would love to see an alternative method of doing the same thing. It becomes like medical insurance, for example. I know part of that is lawsuits on doctors, and they have hospitals and things like that. This is the reason they charge so much money for all these things, because of these lawsuits. And it's just a big, huge circle of everybody's charging more money to continue to make more money, continue to make a profit at all, because there's all kinds of people trying to get their fingers in the pot and get a little bit of that money. If that person, this old person that gets misdiagnosed with cancer, or gets it missed, not diagnosed at all, and then dies of cancer, and the family sues the doctor, and the doctor doesn't want to pay, right? So they have malpractice insurance, and so they're paying all their kinds of money to the malpractice insurance company every month, which, in order to make money as a doctor, you're going to have to cover that expense. So you're going to have to charge all these people more money, right? You're going to charge all their customers, all the patients, a lot more money to be able to cover that insurance, so they can pay that insurance to be protected in case that one person sues them for some crazy reason, when it really shouldn't be that way. Our court system should be set up to say, you know what, no, it happened, it was an accident, accidents happen. Maybe in a really rare circumstance it was a serious malpractice thing. Maybe we should get the doctor fired. Maybe we should, make that doctor pay out of his paycheck every month. That should be the way it is. Insurance should not be the solution. Unfortunately, it is. Someone decided that it was, and they allowed it, and it continued going, and now it's spiraled into this huge industry, this huge scam industry, in my opinion. I wish there was a way to fix it. If I have anything to say about it, I will. But it's going to take some time, and energy, and money. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, insurance. I don't believe in gambling. I don't believe in lottery tickets. Any of that stuff doesn't make any sense, because it's not really in your best interest. It's a waste of money, and there's a better way to do it. Put the money in your own account. Make some savings. Invest it. Make some savings on it. Make some interest on it. Make your own money. Don't pay for insurance companies' rent and employees' salaries and things like that. So another one, I can't remember if I talked about this in another video, but I don't believe in paying someone else to do your work. Things that you could do yourself, unless you really have plenty of money and don't have the time. If you do have the time, and if you're like everyone else, you're a little bit strapped for cash, don't have all the money in the world, and then it makes sense for you to do it yourself. And I'm talking about things like car maintenance. If you get something wrong with your car, like my truck right now, I've noticed some rattling, and when I get underneath and look at it, looks like the muffler brackets are all rusted off, things like that. I could very easily go down to, actually my neighbor's a mechanic, or any mechanic in Keene, and say, hey, how much would you charge me to fix this? And off the top of my head, I'm just going to guess they're going to charge me $700-800 probably to fix that, and that's going to cover the parts and the labor and everything. And I could have them do that, and they'd probably do a better job, but it might take them 3 or 4 weeks, or who knows how long it would take them to get it done. And maybe they wouldn't do a good job. You don't know. Someone could do some mechanics do a good job, some do a bad job, some overcharge you. There's so much variation. It takes a lot of work to find a good one that you trust and who's going to treat you right and do a good job. And so, absent that, which is the case for me usually, because I don't know a lot of people and I don't really trust a lot of people to do that, I find it much easier and simpler, and also saves you money, and it's beneficial for your own personal growth and knowledge and confidence as being a man person and a human being, and learning and getting better, is to just do it yourself. This day and age with YouTube, you can learn how to do anything. Search YouTube, say how to replace a muffler on a 2006 Toyota Tundra. You'll get 10 different videos that show you exactly how to do it. I went down to AutoZone the other day, and I saw that the part was about $150, I think. And I got to do a little more research to figure out if that's the exact one I need. If there's more parts that I need as well, but I'm probably gonna need some more things. But maybe let's just say it's $200, even $250 or $300 for the parts, and I can do it myself. I would say $400 if it was $700 for someone else to do it, and if I can do it for $300, so I can save some money. I can do it at my leisure, on my schedule, meaning I can do it right now, today, if I wanted to. I don't have to wait 3 weeks for them to get it into the machine shop or the mechanic shop. So I can get it quicker, I can get it cheaper, and bonus, you learn how to do something new, and you broaden your skills. So the next time you want to do this, or if you want to help a friend do it, you can do that, and it's a good skill. It's a good understanding to have, I think. And so that goes the same with anything around the house. If you have a light switch that's not working, or you want to change out a light fixture on the ceiling, you could call a handyman or an electrician or somebody, and you could probably pay, I don't know, $200 or $300 probably to have that ceiling fixture, that light fixture, switched out from the ugly one that was always there to a nice new cool looking one. And that's probably just labor, because if you wanted to buy the part itself, that's another $200. So you could probably, for labor only, you could spend a couple $100 just to have someone come do it. Or, it's so simple. It really is. Some of the stuff seems scary, and they make you feel like you need to have an electrician or a professional do it. And some things you do, and some things you don't, though, really. it's just a matter of what it is and how complicated it is. Most things are pretty simple. It's just a matter of shutting off the fuse panel, finding out which fuse circuit breaker in the breaker box turns off the power to that one. You can just test it pretty clearly by flip the switch in the breaker box, and then that light shouldn't work anymore. That's how you know that particular circuit is off, and then you can work on it safely without getting electrocuted. And then it's just a matter of simply, literally taking a couple screws down, unhooking some wires, reconnecting up some new wires, and hooking a few more screws in, and bingo bango, you're done. And it probably took you 20 minutes, and you saved $200-300. And again, you learn something new, a good skill to have, and you got it done quicker. You got it done right now versus having to wait for an electrician for 2 or 3 weeks and having to hope that they did a good job and charge you fairly. Because that's the biggest unknowns for some of these things is, are they going to charge me fairly, and are they going to do a good job? If you do it yourself, you don't have to worry about that stuff. So I really encourage you, when you can, if you have time and a little bit of time to research it and watch a YouTube video on it, and a little bit of confidence build, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. So I'm a big fan of do-it-yourself type stuff. Sometimes you make mistakes, but that's okay. You learn from it, and you'll be smarter the next time. So yeah, try to do everything yourself you can if you have time. Unless you're rich, unless you got lots of money and you don't want to mess with it, you can pay someone else to do it. Otherwise, I suggest trying to do everything yourself you can. Alright guys, I gotta do a few errands, but that's it for this time around. I love you guys. I miss you guys so much. I really hope we get to see you guys really soon, and I'll talk to you later. I love you. Alright, bye.